It was a dark and stormy night when I and my friend Sarah decided to embark on a camping trip deep in the remote woods. Armed with tents, flashlights, and a sense of adventure, we set out into the wilderness. The forest was dense, and the tall trees seemed to reach out towards us, their branches swaying ominously in the wind. As we huddled around the campfire, telling ghost stories and laughing, the distant howl of a lone wolf sent shivers down my spine. I brushed it off as the product of my overactive imagination, but a growing unease settled in the pit of my stomach. As the night wore on, the storm intensified, and the rain beat down relentlessly on our tents. Lightning illuminated the woods in brief, eerie flashes. That's when I heard it, a faint, distant whisper echoing through the trees. It was almost too quiet to discern, but it seemed to be calling my name. "Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered, her face pale. I nodded, my heart pounding, and decided to investigate. Armed with flashlights, I ventured out into the dripping forest, following the faint whispers that seemed to lead me deeper into the woods. The trees closed in around me, casting eerie shadows in the dim light. The whispers grew louder, and I could now make out my name being spoken, as if the forest itself were calling me. Panic set in, and I tried to retrace my steps, but the path had vanished, and I was hopelessly lost. Sarah's flashlight flickered and died, plunging us both into darkness. Her terrified voice called out to me, but before I could respond, something grabbed my shoulder with an icy grip. I turned, shining my fading flashlight onto a ghastly figure standing before me, an ethereal specter with hollow eyes and a twisted grin. Terror surged through my veins as I realized Sarah and I were not alone. The forest had come alive with vengeful spirits, their whispers growing into chilling chants. The specter whispered, "Join us," as Sarah's scream echoed through the night. I ran blindly through the woods, the voices closing in, until exhaustion and fear overcame me. When the morning sun finally broke through the trees, I was found alone and terrified, deep in the heart of the haunted forest. Sarah was never seen again. To this day, the legend persists, a cautionary tale of a cursed forest where those who venture too deep are claimed by the vengeful spirits that dwell within, lost to the whispers of the haunted woods. The wind howled through the skeletal trees as I ventured into the heart of the whispering woods. Legend had it that this forest was cursed, and anyone who entered would be tormented by unsettling whispers. I had always been drawn to the macabre, and the whispering woods presented the ultimate challenge. Armed with a flashlight and determination, I pushed forward into the dense undergrowth, my footsteps muffled by a carpet of fallen leaves. As night descended, the woods seemed to come alive with an eerie presence. Shadows danced among the trees, and the air grew heavy with foreboding. I could hear faint whispers, unintelligible but unmistakably sinister. I exchanged nervous glances with myself, but pressed on deeper into the woods. That's when I stumbled upon an old, dilapidated cabin, its windows like empty eye sockets, staring into the abyss. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, I entered the cabin, its wooden floorboards groaning in protest. Inside, the walls were adorned with strange symbols, and an unsettling chill hung in the air. My flashlight flickered, and I heard the whispers grow louder, more coherent. "Leave now," they seemed to say, but my stubbornness urged me to stay. I couldn't resist the temptation to uncover the secrets of the whispering woods. Descending a creaky staircase into the cabin's basement, I found myself in a chamber adorned with an ominous blood-red pentagram. At its center lay an old leather-bound book, its pages filled with cryptic incantations. I reached for the book, and as I did, a guttural voice echoed through the chamber, reciting an incantation that sent shivers down my spine. The room grew colder, and the whispers transformed into anguished cries. Suddenly, the pentagram flared to life, and I was lifted off the ground, my body contorted by unseen forces. I screamed, unable to help myself. Desperation and fear drove me to recite an incantation from the book, hoping it could counter the malevolent magic. The room shook, and a blinding light engulfed me. When I regained my senses, I was alone in the basement. The whispers had ceased. The cabin was still, as if the forest itself held its breath. I stumbled out of the whispering woods, forever haunted by the malevolent forces that lurked within. The legend had been all too real, and I had paid a steep price for my curiosity.